And that's my opinion, and that's the end of this episode. Ah, perfect. No issues. Let's stop the recording, and let's just... Alright, it's working. Hey, cool. Alright, cool. Excuse me. Now that my camera's reformatted, let's do that again, shall we? Hey, how you doing? I'm not very good. And welcome back to First Take, my new series where we talk about the debut albums from artists and have a look at them. See how an artist evolves over the years. See how much their first take it differs from their style and their signature that they've developed. Is that a good explanation? Did I finally get it? Did I finally figure out how to explain this series right? I'll figure that out later. So, episode 2, figure we change it up. We make a big landmark shift. Flex a different style, show that I'm not only going to listen to things with guitars. There's going to be a lot of guitars. And my favorite track on this album is like half a guitar solo. So that's, yes, bias, oops, I have preferences, oops. Episode 1, we went with some pretty heavy metal. When it comes to metal, it doesn't get a little more heavy than Motorhead. Like, you get darker and grittier, scarier. But Motorhead's metal. That's grit. It's grind. Pumps you down the highway. So the first episode, we hit the heaviest of the metals. We got through Motorhead's first album, Motorhead, featuring the song Motorhead. And I felt if we went anywhere near a rock and roll category, immediately give the impression that that's all I listen to, which is not true. I'm sure by episode 6 we'll start to get a style across of like what I'm into, because I'm really trying to... We're going to get Rick James soon enough, but I'm trying to push him back. I'm trying to push Rick James as far back as we can go, alright? I don't want to drown you in the funk. But we gotta start funky somewhere. So if we're gonna take a hard turn from Motorhead, let's go OutKast. Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik is entirely different from the rest of their discography. OutKast's debut album, released in 94, and I think they were like 17, 18 when it came out. It's definitely 94 hip-hop. You can kind of make some conclusions there, but it's definitely innovative in a lot of little spots. For all intents and purposes, it's a traditional 90s hip-hop album, but you're going to hear little things. Honestly, you're going to hear things on this album that you're hearing in modern music, because, yeah, OutKast started the modern wave of hip-hop in many ways. So let's look back at their first album. Let's see how we got from that older style of hip-hop to, a gateway of going back to that funky stuff. You don't have Redbone without OutKast. That's a fact. Oh, side note. There's a lot of skits. Obviously, I'm not going to rank the skits. I might talk about them for a second as I come across them, but unless it's a bad skit, it's not going to affect the album. Start off with One Peaches. It's like a funky, old 70s movie intro. Chill, soulful, whatever. The first track, first song on the album. My Intro to Let You Know. All one word, letter U. Very clever. Great song. I thought it was pretty good. I almost gave it a 3 stars right off the bat. And I paced myself. I said, hey, let's start off and just assume that there's going to be better tracks than this on this album. It's a very low-key track. Sets a good bar for the album. We're not going to get too far faster or slower than this track while we're listening to this album. And that's good. It's a good trendsetter. It does definitely stand out in the track listing, though, where it has that cowboy vibe. Like, you can put this side by side with Old Town Road right now. Put them on the same playlist, and you'll get that yee-haw banger poppin'. Very strong, forward, great presentation. It's not aggressive. I like it. 2 stars. If I could give it 2.5, I would, but I'm not going to bother start doing that. Very hesitant to say 2, but we're going to say 2 just to be safe. That hesitance I had immediately pays off. Because track 3 is Ain't No Thing Like a Chicken Wing. That's a classic. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a huge sucker for this. Like, if I heard this come out on a party, that party's never ending. The party's not going to end until all of a sudden it's over. This track really shows off also how Big Boy's style has changed. I know it's easy to look at OutKast and talk about how Andre's changed so much over the years and his evolution, but Big Boy really changed his styles from this album to what we know him as. This is an instant classic. It should be on everybody's party mixes. If it's not, you're doing it wrong. Oops, not my fault. Now you know. I'm helping you. Oh, 3 stars, if I didn't already say it. Obviously. Duh. 3 stars. Come on, guys. This is take 4, day 2, and I had to reformat my camera. Cut me some slack here. I can't do this, Jerry. Interlude, airplane skit, whatever. Title track, track 5, Southernplayalisticadillacmuzik. This song really has that arena rock feel. This is a hard rock hip-hop song. Like, this is throw your arms in the air, dive into the sea of people, break your arm, have a good time. Also, shout out to Dusty Rhodes. Because OutKast is from the ATL, home of the NWA. And so Dusty Rhodes, the bionic elbow, good call out. I enjoyed it because I'm cool. They immediately follow up one of the greatest tracks, in my opinion, with one of the worst tracks, in my opinion. It's not outright bad, but once you hear this album as a full, this is definitely the low point of the album. It does give you that first peek into the Andre freaky, vibey stuff, but Called Wild, it's not. If you like it, go ahead. Whatever, it's not. In my personal opinion, it doesn't have enough to carry it. It doesn't have that OutKast magic. Where's that spice? Where's that ooh? It's not their fault. They didn't have the spice yet. That's the whole point of this series. This song shows that they knew where the spice was, but they didn't dig it up yet. You dig up spices, right? That's how you find them. You dig up dirt, and you find little jars out of the ground, but you just gotta like poke the shakers, right? Is that Call the Wild 1 star? This was the hardest choice on the whole album, and the only reason I give this track 2 stars is because the final track on the album, which I count as filler, not filler, but I count as the skit category, it's a reprise, and the reprise is better than the full track. But the track is an instant classic. This album is so full of legendary tracks. But I had to give Players Ball 2 stars. Players Ball Reprise is arguably the highlight of the album. You leave out on it, and it's like, yes, this star is going up, baby. But when you hear it here, like, it is the soul of this album. This is the... Like, if this was the album, if this was the song that got them signed, I wouldn't be surprised. But the reprise isn't connected. And that's unfortunate, in my opinion. So we're going to give it 2 stars. But it's a positive 2 stars. Plays Ball is a perfect pre-drink track. Or a pre-game? Is that what some people call it? Like, get your people ready to go out and have a good time. It is a good time, but it's not the party, it's the front door. It's getting up there. It's being let in. You're entering the Players Ball. Claiming true, I found it bland. It's a good, chill vibe, but it just didn't have the vibe. Especially, like I just said, we're entering the player's ball and we get claim intro. Doesn't flow with the album. I'm going to give it 1 star. And then it's immediately followed up with Club Donkey Ass. And it's a nothing skit. Waste of time. Very angry about this. Thankfully, we get to Funky Ride. It is a funky ride. I gave it 3 stars. I'm coming right out the gate and say that. And this is the one I talked about in the intro, where I'm saying it's half of this is a guitar solo. It's like a 9-minute song, and half of it is a guitar solo. Yes, they recorded this song to pander to me, the 3-year-old me. But I thought it definitely had the most texture of any of the songs. This is a great entree. This is a good main dish. I like it. It's tasty. Players Ball led right into this, and then had the reprise at some point after it. Players Ball would be better, but they threw those couple of duds in there. Not my fault. Take it up with OutKast. Poor old Flim Flam. Get Up, Get Out's another 3-star track, and it is, not my opinion, it's definitely the best song on the album. It's got that upbeat message. It's got that upbeat flow. It got that energy. It really gets you, make you want to get up, get out. While preparing for this review, I didn't read too much into the Wikipedia or any of the history of this album or anything. So I don't know what the singles were. I don't know what's considered a classic. But Get Up, Get Out is just a great song. Hey, you got ears? You got any of these? Get Up, Get Out, 3 stars. Fight me on it. I dare you. Reach your hand through the screen, come through this camera lens, and punch me in the face. I dare you. 3 stars. Fight me. They followed up with a good segue. I can't say anything negative about it. Positive message. Carried on through the track. Makes the album feel good. Definite high point. And it leads right into another solid track. Crumbling Herb, 3 stars. Again, I'm just going to say it right off the bat. Crumbling Herb's great. It's another, this album is track after track of smooth vibe music. I'm going to say if you have specific ways you like to spend your time, you might really enjoy this album. Especially if you enjoy the lyrical content of Crumbling Herb. I'm going to give it 3 stars. Hootie Hoo, recognizable. I know it. It's one of those songs where I was like, I saw the name, and I was like, wait, this isn't OutKast. And I heard it, and I was like, immediately taken back to being a young kid, being places I shouldn't have been. I was just like, Hootie Hoo. Yeah, I was immediately taken back to situations I didn't want to be in. Still gonna give it 2 stars, but this is the only negative 2 star. It's like not a fan. Hootie Hoo, I'm sorry. If this is your cruise jingle, enjoy it. Enjoy Hootie Hoo. I don't like it 2 stars. By the time we got to Deep, I was just done. I really did like the hook. The hook is fun, but they hit it with you right at the start, and I immediately was like, all right, I got enough. That's all I need to hear of this song. I did listen, trust me, I listened to it multiple times. It never stuck around. Deep, 1 star. Blah. And then we get to the reprise of Players Ball to close out the album. It's technically a track, blah, blah, blah. This is, I will accept an argument over this. If you want to call this track a track, yeah, go for it. Include it with Players Ball and give it a 3 stars. I'm choosing to separate the two. That's the only reason why they don't get, why Players Ball as a whole wasn't given 3 stars. So, in conclusion, what does my erratic, senseless reviewing style say about Southern Playalistic Cadillac music? It's amazing. It's an awesome album. If you like the style, it's a great album. Are there better albums in this genre? Yeah, because this is not OutKast's prime genre. These are the roots of what makes OutKast OutKast, but even still, look at the numbers. 17 tracks. 6 filler tracks. Out of 11 tracks, 6 are 3-star tracks, 3 are 2-star, and 2 of those are arguable. 2 of those could be 3-star tracks. And then we got 3 1-star tracks. I'm not going to do the math. I can't do math. That's more than a pass. That's a good grade. So there's my grade. Good. This is a great album. This is a 3-star album if I'd give stars to albums. That ain't how we do things. Yeah, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music. It's a great album. It's been a month since the first time I listened to this album. I've listened to it like at least twice since. Still, every day I'm in the shower just like Southernplayalistic Cadillac music. It's amazing. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've never listened to that album, if you've never listened to OutKast, first of all, why not? If you've never listened to this album, I highly recommend it. Listen to it with friends, especially. The skits are entertaining when you throw them into the album as a whole. That's what they're for. They're not worth grading because that's not why they're there. They're not there to be judged. They're there to be enjoyed. This album is to be enjoyed. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not very good. Thank you for joining me for episode 2 of First Take. Do all the likes and subscribes and everything. Subscribe to this. I'm on most social medias at NotVeryG. I hope you have a good eve. Share the video. That's also a big one. Did you know you can share videos? Okay, I'm out of here. Bye. Have a good evening.